Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I am so excited to have on nearly a 40-year-old from Russell, Ontario, Canada. His hockey journey has taken him to Canada, the USA, Wales. I didn't write down any notes. I don't know where all you played anymore. Scotland. Um, Anywho, he is a Challenge Cup champion, an East Coast finalist, puke, and was drafted by the Columbus Blue Jackets before they sent our asses straight to the coast. And he has now started a hockey franchise. He is the boss of the Cardiff Canucks, the Shed's newest favorite hockey team outside of our Cardiff Canucks. Welcome to the Shed, first thing in the morning, Trevor Hendrikx.
What an introduction. Thanks, Wally.
I shouldn't have got into the countries you played in because then the research team would have had to get hot, you know?
You left out France and Germany, but hey, you did pretty
Germany, that's right. You played in the Oberliga where you sent me the video of the guy doing the Superman in a shootout.
That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but it was super cool because you actually scored and we won. That was the winning goal.
Did you imagine if he did score? You feel like such an idiot.
The referees didn't even know what to do. The other team was like, that's not a goal. And we were already celebrating because, I mean, that was just awesome. So whatever. We won. We win for for
Uh,
being.
so you sent me a picture this morning. I mean, I can get pretty hot and bothered in the mornings when I wake up, Hendo, but phew, you got me right fired up this morning. When's the jersey reveal?
I thought you get excited about that. I'm not sure. We're gonna do that soon, but
If
yeah,
I
look,
if I wasn't laying down, my knees would have buckled.
stuck to the bed. Um, yeah, they look good though, Wally. They look good. You're gonna be excited.
Oh, I'm excited, buddy.
I know. I
What a
know.
world.
Yeah. Whole new
So
team of head guys for you. So
a whole new team of shed guys. So you've been doing some recruiting. Who's in charge of recruiting? Are you a player or a coach or a GM or what are you?
I'm everything, man. I'm everything.
But
I'm just
I thought you were playing, and then I saw you out there in a tracksuit. What are you being like Lordo?
well, there's rules in our league, right? You can only have a certain amount of import players, and I just thought, you know what, why not make myself available if I'm needed? I'm needed, So I'm not sure how much I'll play, but the whole reason I have this team is to develop the kids. So I don't really want to take a spot from them,
Makes
and
sense.
their playing time. But again, if somebody gets hurt or something, then I'm the insurance policy. So
Right. Yeah. So how's the squad looking? I saw you have a legendary shed guy on your team, Max Beerbrier, one of my most listened to episodes ever, and one of the most ridiculous with his tales of jail and whatnot.
yeah, yeah, he's a beauty.
He
It's
is
just
a beauty.
cool. It's a cool mix of young kids and older kids, and like you have a change room with a guy like him and myself and other people in there, and it's a good mix for the kids. They get to learn a lot from us. So it's I don't know. It's going really well. I was a bit worried about the divide in the ages and stuff, but they've been training every day for the last 2 weeks. So that goes away pretty quickly when you're around people all the time. So.
Like
Um,
how young are we talking? Or what's your
well,
youngest player?
you got to be 16 to play in the league, right?
Okay.
So that's just a league rule. So there's nobody below 16. But then you have, a guy like Max, myself. There's some people that are 40. But that's the weird thing about this league is anybody can play. There's girls in the league as well. There's not really any age limit. So, but you got to be 16 to play in it. So, you can get a real interesting mix of people. But our group's really good. I'm really happy with it.
I think getting an interesting mix of people is exactly what hockey's all about, and then becoming a family, like the donkeys of the Cardiff Devils 2014-15. What a ragtag bunch of dudes that was.
Exactly. And that's just you just put a bunch of good people together and see what happens. And that's what we've done. We've got just, I've kind of carefully picked the older players. They're all really good guys, really good players, a lot of experience, and they want to help as well. So but yeah,
What
it's
if Max lives in Cardiff, right? And he was like driving somewhere to continue playing and keep
yeah,
doing his passion. Now he gets to play right there in Cardiff. That must be nice for him too.
yeah, exactly. I mean, he actually spoke to us about coming, so it's just kind of shows how cool this is for everybody. And it's exciting to have him on board because he's a legend here.
Well,
Some of these
okay,
kids actually grew up watching him.
I agree. And he's when I went over to the testimonials, man, that guy can still play. He is a big body that can move.
Yeah, he's a big rig. I'm I'm excited to see what he does out there, to be honest, because he's a good player.
So he's your big rig. I got a big rig. I just picked my team last night, and finalized it, finished the cuts off, and I have a new team to play with again and become a family with. And I can't wait to kick the shit out of everybody.
It's a nice feeling. They're Canucks as well, aren't they?
We're the Canucks, you're the Canucks. Everything's starting to make sense, isn't it, Hendo?
Oh, it's a weird world, isn't it?
And if you didn't know, we are the All Ontario champions, defending
I
champions now. I only have 3 returning players though, because Colby was a first year, so I have a whole new team. But we're still gonna win, Hendo, because winning's fun.
exactly. Everybody loves winners.
Yeah, sometimes. Anyways, your logo. So when I see my logo, like say my director of shed marketing, doing Chuck a Puck with my 2000 Hockey Tales jersey on in Manchester, I mean that can get the heart pumping. Your logo actually is like your face, so that's something, eh?
Well, it was such a like when you I don't know, you never not many people have started their own team, right? So you start your own team,
No.
you got to make up a name. It's not like you just say, oh, here's my team, and it's like, well, what do you call them? And I don't know. We thought about it for a while, and then um, I just thought Cardiff Canucks had a nice little ring to it, with the C and the C and
And you
Canucks,
and you're a Canadian living in Cardiff,
and I thought it just worked really well.
changing the hockey world one day at a time.
Yeah, and then I spoke to Stu Bob because he made my Hendrikx hockey logo, and I said, make me something. And then he just came back with this, and I was like, that's unreal. That's
It is unreal.
like
It's really,
boom.
really neat. And then he's done similar things for me in the past. He's such a swell guy, that Stu Bob. I mean, he did the one where I'm topless, spray painted with the devil, with beers in my hands. I don't know where that would come from, but he also tattooed me with
Oh yeah,
muffins, on a guy. And that was from your son. What a world, eh? Your son inspired a tattoo. That's freaky.
I still can't believe that, man. It's like why anyone would do that is pretty crazy. But
Um, well, I mean, it's a topless me on his arm. That is crazy
who wouldn't want a topless Wally with muffin mitts on their body?
because your son said I threw muffins.
Yeah,
What a world we're living in. Had no, it's all from just walking out to my shed and talking to my friends. And sometimes for fun to happen, you got to go out there and do it. And you sure are doing it, eh? So you got some busy days, eh? How much
yeah.
did how much did Todd help you? Because when you sent me your Canucks email, it was awfully familiar to Todd Kelman's with the Devils.
What do you mean?
Like his is like TK at Devils, and yours is like TH at Canucks.
Everybody in business does. They have a signature. It's very easy to do, Wally. Come on, you should know this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they
You
gave
gotta
me an email in the real world too.
you gotta look. You gotta look the part. No, when we first started this idea, I went to Todd and I spoke to him about everything, and he thinks it's awesome. He's very supportive of it. He's actually I've going to him quite a bit for help with things because when you start up a team, it's
You may
you
as well
know
go to a guy that knows what he's doing.
well, exactly, and it's like it's one thing to just get a bunch of guys together and make a team, but then there's a match night, there's all these things you got to do, sponsorship and stuff. So him and Katrina have been super helpful to us, and they're the best in the business at what they do, and who better to learn from, right? So
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel weird without my notepad. I don't know what to do with my hands.
liberating,
Um,
isn't it?
huh?
You're free, you're flying free.
I guess so. It's a little
Hey,
early
good
for a
evening.
pint too, so I guess we're not doing that either.
5 o'clock somewhere, maybe
Uh,
AM.
yeah. No, I gotta work all day. What else was I gonna ask about those? Oh, so I was checking out your social media there, and like, so for not being an EIHL team, you guys are pretty legit when it comes to all these videos being made and stuff. It
Yeah,
looked like I was watching an NHL team practice
we're taking over the world, Wally,
one day at a time.
one day at a time. That's right. But
Oh,
that's just like I said. It's like there's all these things that you don't even think about. It's like, oh, social media. Social media is such a powerful thing now. And if you don't have a good presence on that, if you look at I don't know, anywhere you go, just look, people are on their phones all the time, right? So
they
if you
are.
can,
Am I supposed to branch out outside of Instagram? Because I really don't want to. I just want to have fun.
you just be you, Wally. You do
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Whatever you feel comfortable with,
My
you know.
little punks, my little puppies that I'm raising around here want me to get on TikTok. And I'm like, I don't have any more time in the day for anything else.
I could see you being that TikTok guy.
Could you?
I could see you. Yeah, you got a little TikTok in you.
What do you? I've never done it. Don't know how
Yeah,
to. I
so
guess you don't know until you try.
yeah, it's a weird place, but there's some good stuff there.
Hmm. All right. So what's your favorite drill? If are you the head coach? Are you the coach?
I told you, I'm everything. I'm everything.
Who do you want me to be?
Hey, I got 25 hats to wear. You tell me which one you want me to put on.
I also have a lot of hats these days.
Well, I mean,
So
yeah.
what's your favorite drill?
Well, one thing like with our team, we're a younger team, right? So a lot of the players in our league are older, and one big thing that I'm kind of harping on is passing. Um, like how much quicker the puck moves on us is something that it's a tough thing to get across because all the kids want to go end to end by themselves. So passing for me is our important thing. So try to do lots of drills just based around that because once they can pass and move the puck nice and quick, I don't think teams will touch us because you can move the puck around so quickly, and a lot of these teams they're only practicing once a week, right? So you have our team practicing every day, working on our passing. I think it's going to really help us.
Well, I do know because I find when you play hockey, and I'll say this to my team, is you can just pass to pass, or you can like pass it to the guy, like pass it tape to tape. It's like getting a breakout pass from you, and I got to get a rim up my ass, and I'm trying to get out of the zone with speed.
Yeah,
Or Hotha just zip it to me on the tape, and then I could skate out of the zone full stride. You know what I mean?
so it works a little bit better, right? I actually, funny enough, I
But I'm
did
just
our
kidding because you were a passer guy. You were a power play guy too, and a fighter. You were a weird mix.
yeah. See, it's the same thing. I got all these hats, Wally. All these hats,
All these tools
all
and a
these all
toolbox.
the time. Yeah, all the time. Yeah. But actually, you
uh,
know what? I did the Derek Clancy special.
did you paint the ice?
Oh yeah, I got the marker out. We drew some
I'm doing
lines.
that tonight. I do it my first practice every year. My first practice with my new team is tonight. The
Yeah.
ice will be painted. Derek Clancy, assistant GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs and Daytona Beach Bomber of Ohio.
And it's crazy though when you do that. They kind of realize like, oh wow, I don't really have to do that much. I just got to stay in my little area. I didn't have to go chase this guy around the whole ice. It's a nice. It's such a simple thing, but it works.
And when they see it on the ice and they're like, and they see it happened when we went to the coast. When he did that for me, I had been playing man on man in college and stuff, and I always thought you had to try so hard on in the D zone. You had to skate everywhere and muck it right up. And then he's
Yeah,
like, Wally, you just got to be right here. See
yeah,
this line? If it's over there, you stand here. Good
yeah.
stick. It goes over here, you're here. And I'm like, no, come on, man. Really? That's all I got to do and be ready to go on offense? Come on.
Oh, I know, right? It's a simple game, man. Simple game.
Yeah, I that's the first thing I teach for the year. That's my honey hole. That's the thing I think is most important is D zone, not chasing guys into the corners and not getting beat.
Who would
And
have thought you'd be a defensive specialist, eh?
hey, buddy, how do you think
Oh,
how do you think I was on the third line of the Devils, man? By the end of my career, I was able to work my way down the
very quickly.
lineup. Clancy was the one that taught. I take everything I know from everybody I talk to coach, but that with Clancy I'll never forget that day.
I still like reference things that he taught us, like the little details that he taught us. Like I remember like even like having guys below the goal line, like he never wanted us as D to go pressure them. 'Cause it's like why
Why
you're below the goal line? You're
you're
not going to score,
yeah,
you
you're
know.
leaving the front of the net and then they pass her out there and there's nobody there
I've
anymore.
actually but he instilled such like a strong belief in his system with us. Like I would get into arguments with other coaches because they don't want me to go pressure. And I'd be like, no, clients told us this way, and it worked. It worked every single time.
If
Like,
you keep them to the outside and play like old man defense instead of chasing people where then you can get beat. I loved when people would race in the corner on me because then I could try to reverse hit them or spin away. And when they just keep you out there, you're like, oh, what do I do now?
just keep them out there. And it's like, okay, beat me. Now you got to score. Now you got to do something. But yeah, it's interesting.
It is
Interesting.
interesting because I had this conversation with the dad last season. He wanted to know about stuff at a hotel after the first tournament or whatever. And I was like, man, I'd like coach the kids all day. Like, I just want to talk about life. I don't really want to talk about coaching right now. Um, but
You
then
know,
he said, he's like, I told my kid to get in the corners and try harder and get in there faster. And he told me you told him not to. And I was like, yeah, I did. And then he's like, it worked. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Shut
and,
up.
and then he said, he's like, well, you know what? I'm never going to ask you about what you're teaching my son again because I understand. And I was like, okay, thank you.
That's the nicest thing you could ever hear.
Yeah, it was good. And I had a neat one last night. So it was my last tryout. And I figured I was giving this one defenseman just a game, just to let him go out there. And I just wanted to make sure that he was a cut. And then I had three forwards trying out for two spots. I bring the three kids out before the game. I'm like, okay, boys, I want to see who's gamers. Like you three are playing for two spots, and this is what I need from you. You know, muck it right up, pucks in, pucks out. And then we went out there, and the big rig on D had himself a night and shocked the world and made the team. And then I had to get rid of two of those forwards because the D man went out there and earned it out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what you want, though, right?
That is what I want. And this kid's never been on the radar for rep. He wasn't on my radar until the last two ice times. And he just went out there and got her done. And I was like, whoa, look at the potential on you. Look at the paws on that puppy.
Hey, you got a horse, man. You got a horse.
He's a big rig. Another one.
Well, it's like that's it's. This is my kind of first sort of dabble with coaching, but you've coached
Oh,
some
I'm I'm
well, right?
I'm head over heels into it, buddy.
But it's funny because like when I look at the way our team is set up and how we're practicing every day, right? So like when you look at a player and you're trying to build a team, it's like I don't look at how they are right now. I kind of think like put this kid into training every day and coaching by myself and other people. Like what is
Woo!
woohoo? Like I haven't had that in a while. Uh,
Sorry.
no, it's true
It's
though.
been
Like,
a while since we've done that.
you gotta think differently because like even parents, you see parents like, oh, why would you pick him or why would you do this? And it's like, well, I see something a lot differently than you do.
Yeah. If
We're
you
the
had
hockey,
to explain everything to everybody, man, you'd be talking a long time, right?
and a lot of parents they kind of think that's the way it should be, but it's like just like I'm like this with my own kids, like Hunter, I take him to gymnastics or something, and it's like I'm not a gymnast, you
I
know.
100% agree, man. So
Like,
Colby played baseball. It was only his second year. He makes the rep team as a first year. Out of nowhere, I didn't see it coming, but then he makes this team and they develop him all year. And they were baseball coaches, like they were legit baseball coaches that cared and were building a champion. And I was just wanted to be the parent I would want on a hockey team. I
yeah,
just sat there and watched the games and let them coach and drop them
that's
off at practice and go have fun, buddy. Do what they say.
such a rare thing nowadays too, right? Like, and I think when you actually coach sports at any level, you kind of like you get that mentality. You're like, I want to be the parent that,
I want.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. And it's a rare thing nowadays, but you just gotta navigate through it, I guess, right?
Fun fact is that baseball team did win all Ontario too. So Kincardine is champions in hockey and baseball, and so is my son.
Fuck, do you have any room in there for any more banners?
Hey, I didn't win that one. Nothing's out here, man. He's got his green hat and his red hat in his room.
Hmm.
I didn't win anything. I was just a parent watching. But you know what? When the team wins, everybody wins. And we all had fun at the hotel after we won.
I can imagine how many belly flops were done while they.
No, I'm not a coach on that team, man. I stay out of it. I'm just a parent.
You don't need to coach the belly flops, do you?
No, but I didn't do one. Tough pool at that hotel. Wasn't that good, but I could have done a belly flop if anybody asked because they won. But my team has a tournament coming up in like a week, my brand new team. And if they haven't seen me belly flop, they will.
Did I just let the cat out of the bag?
I think it's Canucks tradition now. I even like last season, Zoe's coach did the belly flop to
Hmm.
keep up the tradition going that I'd started the year before. And it warmed my heart that she had such a great coach that was willing to belly flop for me.
That's that's love, man.
That is love. That's hockey love. And he's hopefully she can make the team again, and then he would be the coach again. And it's like the world is really making sense. And then after this year, I could go back to coaching the gals, and he would put in his 2 years, and then I'll take over for him, and then living is living. You know?
They only let you coach for 2 years, and then you got to have somebody else. Is that how it works?
No, no, you can keep going, but I'm guess like he's up for it again this year, but I'm sure he'd be ready for me to take a year on of the girls after this.
Oh, I got you.
but he's a good coach. He's exactly what you need in a small town. Um, Anywho, so you got any young up and comers that like you think could someday be a devil?
Um, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's kind of the whole goal really. So like we um we have an affiliation with a team called the Berkshire Bees. So I don't know if you remember how the leagues work here, Wally. There's like obviously Devils, right?
Okay.
And then there's the National League, which is right below them. That's like Bristol. I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah, the
And
Pit Bulls. Jemay
yeah,
was coaching.
yeah, exactly. We're good old Jim Hay was.
Yeah.
And then there's Division One and Division Two underneath that. We're Division Two. So we have an affiliation with the national team, which is right below the Elite League. And the guy that is the GM there, his name's Doug Shepard. Do you know him at all?
I've heard that name.
Canadian guy. So when we started this whole thing, I wanted to have like somewhere to send these players, like
Yeah.
I
Let's see the puppies fly.
so I looked at all these different teams, and it's tricky over here because like 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 Swindon for example is like an hour away, but then they have their own Division One and Two whatever teams, and they care about
Their
their
own.
guy. Everybody seems to care about their own, which is fine. But then the Berkshire Bees, they actually don't have a rink. Their rink closed a few years ago, so they're a national team with no junior system below them, and they play out of Slough. So I just called Doug Shepard, who's a Canadian guy, and explained him what I was doing, and he said, "Wow, I see no reason why we should not be a big part of this. That's awesome. Yeah,
He
let's do
made
this."
made it easy.
Made it super easy. Then I had four or five of my players were going up there, uh, practicing with them in on Thursdays in the summer in August, and then we actually had a really cool thing happen. I think it was last weekend. One of our players, Josh Poole, he, I guess they had a couple players just get hurt. I woke up on Sunday morning and I had a couple missed calls from Doug, and he just said, "Oh, is Josh available?" Um, and I said, "I don't know. Let me see." So I called him, called his parents. His gear was in our change room at the rink, and he got down there, got his stuff, went up there, drove there, played the game. And the coach actually sent me a link to watch. So I watched the game, and as I was watching the game, I was like, he's doing awesome. Like he was dominating. And the cool thing was is that I heard the announcers start saying like, he's my man of the match. So the
Wow.
announcers, yeah, they were, yeah, exactly. So then I'm sitting there and we're kind of like, geez, like he's doing really well. And then like I messaged our social media person. I was like, we got to get something prepared here. Like he might have man of the match and we got nothing. So sure enough, I watched the end of the game and he got the man of the match. Uh,
That's a
like
fun day for a kid getting called up and winning man of the match.
and like how cool is that like just to be able to like from my point of view, just to be able to give him that chance and then he
Yeah.
just ran away with it. But there's so many kids that are going to get that chance this year, and they might not be quite there yet, but give them a couple months, couple weeks. I think we're going to see a lot more of them going up there, and then
Well, and then
that's
once you go up there once, I mean, winning man of the match is one thing, but it's the same as like when you get called up to the AHL or the first couple times, I was so nervous that like I couldn't play good. And then if you actually get used to playing somewhere and you play like you can, then you're usually a lot better.
yeah. And that's the cool thing because like there's a guy, the coach there. We played against him, Wally. Ashley Tate. Do you remember him?
Yeah, yeah. Number 21 for Coventry.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
He was a good player.
Yeah, yeah, he's a coach there, so like he gets it, right? He understands hockey, so like he gave like I was surprised when I watched because Josh was playing like a pretty regular shift, but like Ash being a hockey guy, like recognized that he's an offensive player. You can't just chuck him on the fourth line, right? You got to give him a chance. So he was playing like top couple lines and playing with good players. So just like probably with you, same thing happened with you when you went to Syracuse, same sort of idea, right?
Yeah, I mean, I played on the fourth line with a fighter and usually sat there the whole game. And then we go out and usually the guy would go out and fight and then we'd get off the ice again. It was fun. Great time. What else? Have you been to Chippy Lane recently? Because the last time I was there with you, you dropped your food on the ground and picked it up and ate it. And
Five second rule.
it was
Five
so
seconds.
disgustingly beautiful.
Huh.
And then weird, you got sick the next day and we couldn't do a podcast, eh?
Yeah, funny how that works. But hey,
Weird,
it was
weird
fun.
how you'd get sick eating food off the ground at Chippy Lane, eh? Because like I've seen people piss themselves there, shat themselves there, puke, and you just picked it right up. Like I am mucking it up tonight, and I don't care what's in my way, right? That's how we played.
Wally, that was my first time to Chippy Lane in 2 years. I wasn't wasting it.
No, no, but you could have just ordered a new order.
Could have, but
That's not the same. That's not playing the game, right?
you got to be who you are, Wally.
Yeah, that's right. Fun fact though is our goat, Joey Martin.
Mm,
Rumor has it he's having a testimonial. I'm sure
mm.
he's doing all these like player announcing things. I'm just letting him know I'm coming either way. So whatever. I'll come as a fan. I'll spray paint myself if you don't want me to play in the game. That's cool. But when people assume I am coming, someone did ask me to do a skills day with you if you want to do that. If you want to do the organizing of that stuff, I'll come over and run the thing.
Really?
Yeah. I think that'd be fun for the kids, right?
Well, I mean, the last time we did that, you did one-handed push-ups on the ice.
Just to show them I
Are you,
could.
you still capable of that? Because you set a bar.
I haven't tried since, but I mean, if I really put my mind to it, I probably could get one in.
You better start practicing for that because I am not doing one-handed press-ups, that's for sure.
Well, every once in a while, you gotta show the kids you can do it, you know?
Well, that could be, yeah, that could be a cool thing.
That would be
Uh,
a cool thing, but just not the day of the game. It'd need to be earlier in the day because we have a lot of fun when I get to go over there, you know? They're busy days. The days are full.
Fun, we don't have fun, do we, Wally?
Well, we have the last couple times.
Yeah, we've had way too much fun.
Those testimonials are cool the way like when you got to play hockey in front of your kids for the first time and like all those guys that get to dust off the skates and go out back for a weekend and there's no pressure, there's no stress of being a pro hockey player anymore, and we just go have fun and not care what anybody thinks about us.
Oh, that was so much fun. Like that, you know what? Going back to where you asked me about playing, it's like when I first started the team, I was just talking with Laura one day, and like by no means did I ever plan to play. I was like last thing on my mind. And then one day Laura was kind of working out like the league and stuff, and she was like, "Oh, so there's no age limit, blah blah blah." She said, "Could you play in the league if you wanted to?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I could. Maybe I
Mhm.
will. Since I'm the GM as well. Why not?"
Why
So
not? Sign me up.
but then, like what you just said about kids, like I never had kids when I was playing. You did, and I remember like having Colby on the ice. That was super cool, and
It
I
was
never got to
super
have that.
cool.
But I thought if I can sprinkle in a couple games and Hunter and Luna can see, Daddy the hockey player,
Yeah,
why not, right? Because they never got
that's
to do
fun,
that,
right?
and that's a big part of your life and my life, right? Is that, and we've all transitioned to other stuff now, but to be able to, kind of
But
go with
you haven't really transitioned into anything but hockey. You've still been a hockey guy the whole time.
yeah, I guess so. But being on the ice and playing is different though, right? Like,
Oh yeah. Well, and you were running like skill stuff. Like I want a team in my life. I need to be on a team. I need guys I can mess around with, joke around with, go to the rink
yeah,
and, play hockey with guys.
yeah.
And that's what I need as a team. That's why I'll do one skills day for the kids if I come over. I'm not doing a bunch, you know? I just want to coach for free.
Yeah. Another time off for one skill session for Wally, that'd be good.
That would be good. Yeah. I think even Charlie Wilcox from Sheffield said he'd attend.
Well, let's see what
We
we can
might get
do.
fans from all over the league to celebrate Joey Martin, you know?
I get hit with a fucking chocolate bar though. I don't know. I might go off the ice.
Well, I was curious about that. Like, we have started a lot of fun around the UK. Like, do the Cardiff Canucks like chocolate?
What did you just say? Canucks?
Canucks? The
Canucks.
Canucks?
You're Canadian.
Canucks.
Canucks.
Canucks. Sorry, I didn't say it tough enough.
Same as, well, I don't know. You sounded like, I don't know.
It's early, man. I'm doing the best out here. Okay, I'm playing as hard as I can right now. It's 5:30 in the morning.
Same as Vancouver. Vancouver Canucks. Cardiff Canucks.
Yeah, I know. Do they like chocolate?
Well, I'm sure that they do. I don't know if I want to open this can of worms with you though yet.
Why? You always tried to slow down my fun.
Well, see, because then I have to go find people to clean up this mess.
The players will pick it up and put it in their mouths. It's
This,
fun, Trevor. Haven't you seen how much fun I'm having in my shed? Do
oh,
you see what goes on in Manchester?
I'm aware. I'm aware.
And then I was planning on 1,005 Twix for the home opener for Mac's return. And then the donkey goes out and gets injured and nobody fought the guy. Upsetting. You know, the guy slew foots him behind the net, drags the foot like he didn't mean to. Everybody that's played hockey knows he meant to. I don't know, Hendo. I'm pretty sure me or you would have gone in and fought that guy, but I'm just speaking out loud.
Games changed.
Game has changed,
Games
but it hasn't changed because you have to have each other's backs because it means the world. When you would fight guys for me, it meant the world to me. And when I would fight guys for you, I'm sure it meant the world to you.
I mean, it was funny,
It was funny.
entertaining.
Were you at the game in Toledo when the guy sucker punched me and then my face was, you could say, messed up, and then I was in the pelly box like taking selfies with the fans?
Was that our first ever professional game?
Not the one I got punched in the face really hard. But that was where my first East Coast game was, in that old Toledo arena, and I was shocked.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know if we've ever told this story, but that was our first game. I remember I played one shift and I
I
just
remember.
threw a giant pizza up the middle, and then we only had those little wooden chairs that were beside us that were actually for the fans, but we had like two on the bench. So Clance Clance just looked at me and he said, "That's a nice pass, Hendo. You see that chair down there?" And I said, "Yep." And he said, "Go sit there. You're gonna sit there the whole game." So I just sat down there, little buck, just sitting there, just not knowing what to do, licking my wounds. And this fan
Just
beside me is just having a dart. He's got a beer in his hand, and I'm just sitting there, just secondhand smoke. He offered me his beer at one point, and I was like, "Oh, probably not a good look." But yeah,
probably not to have a sip while you're sitting in the crowd.
yeah. First pro game. There you go.
Man, that arena stunk like cigarettes so bad there'd just be a fog of smoke coming over the glass.
Isn't it crazy that that was like,
That was professional hockey. That's,
oh
as
wow.
kids growing up and picturing playing pro hockey, that was summed it right up.
Can you imagine doing that now? How weird. Like I would be so disgusted. Like I
Mm.
wouldn't even want to be there.
No, and like you would smell of cigarettes at the end of the game.
Like, isn't that wild? Like, and that
That's weird.
we play
Yeah.
them like 10 times a year. Like,
So who
man.
all do you play with this new team? Who's in your loop?
Um,
Who are we smashing this year?
well, it's a pretty big league. We got our first game is against Bristol. I think they kind of try and break it up geograph geographically, sorry.
There's a
Uh,
good word for you in the morning.
tongue twister. I don't need any challenges with that, but like we got Bristol, we got Oxford. Most of our games are like 2, 3 hours away. Um,
So you guys get like a big fancy bus and all that?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, you guys are legit, eh? So have you had a home game yet?
No, our first home game is sold out, Wally.
Shut the front door. Your first home game sold out?
We have 3,000 people coming.
When's this?
October 6th.
And they're gonna see those jerseys?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Morning, what again?
Uh, didn't even I thought you knew that.
I didn't know you sold out. I just saw your social media game was high end.
Yeah. Well, we
You can't
have
keep track of everything going on in the world, man. I'm just living.
well, we made the first game, all the tickets were free. So we thought that that would get a lot of people in, and it did.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
3,000 people coming. So now we got to, we're going to put on a good show and then make
And
sure they all
then
come back.
people will be coming back.
Yeah. So that's kind of the plan, but it's going to be like super cool to like, I don't know, for the kids, they've never even played. Like they're used to playing in front of mom and dad. And, I don't think any of them have played under that big of a crowd. So it's going to be like a
Yeah.
big, really cool experience for them. And it'll just be cool to just, that first game at home, it's going to be really cool for myself and everybody else who's put a lot of time and effort into it. Cause it's like, here, it's finally here. This is the show.
And we're really doing it.
We're really doing it, Harry.
I do know. It's like when I was coaching, like the U9 gals, Zoe's team one year, and then you book the hotels, you make the schedules, you do all this stuff. And then when you finally get your hockey family to a hotel for a tournament, and you're like, yeah, I booked all these rooms. Yeah, I booked this tournament. And look at everybody having fun.
That's yeah, exactly it. And like it's just cool. Like the whole like this has been months and months and months of us kind of figuring everything out. And then like this last 2 weeks going on the ice has been like, wow, this is really cool. It's really
Yeah.
been good.
Like
Like
just seeing your logo on jerseys. And so are you going to have like merch? Are you going to be selling
yeah.
swag?
Oh yeah, we got all that stuff. We just
Oh my word.
finalizing all the stuff now. We just actually today we had a shipment come in of like our shells that go over our pants, short covers they call them. So we got those. We got our game jerseys. We got off ice stuff. We got all sorts of stuff. We're gonna look really cool.
So what I think would be fun is I'm Manchester's sending me a Critchlow jersey with my two L's Knocktails logo from last season to the shed, so it can go up in the shed. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need one of yours up in the shed because it's fun.
I had a feeling that, yeah, they have
And
full,
I'm gonna have the coolest shed in the world, and you can
yeah,
all get out of my way, you know?
yeah. Well, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you what, it looks really good. Like your logo on there, it's like
Oh God, I saw it. I saw it. I got all jazzed up.
you'll be bumping into things walking around for a while, I think.
Oh yeah, it got me right out of bed at 5.
Yeah, here we are.
I'd only get up at 5 a.m. to talk to certain people, Hendo, you know?
I'll take it. I'll
You got
take
to
it.
get excited to get up at that time, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so that's cool though. So you got to find people to sell stuff while you're out coaching, and you got to find people to help you with stuff, eh?
Well, the cool thing about this team is that like I've kind of said from the start, it's like if you want to be part of this, if you're a good person, I want you on my team, kind of like you with your shed people.
Mm-hmm.
So we've just got a whole bunch of really good people together, and whether that's players, parents, whatever, all the parents are super helpful. I have to tell them that we don't have anything for you to do yet. They all want to do something, which is nice to have, because we're kind of at the process now of having to figure out like the game night. What are we going to do in the game night? Who's going to do what? We're chuck a puck, this, that, whatever.
Yeah,
And these are things that people were talking to me about in like February, and it's like, oof, there's so many bigger things to do now to even have a team. Um, that's such a small little thing to do. So we're kind of at the point now where we're figuring out all these little things like that, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it's nice to have people around helping because if you don't, it just doesn't work.
it takes everybody to win. You need people to
Exactly.
help you. And chuck a puck is a fun thing. If people don't know, if you're going to a game, why not buy a puck? They're not that much money. When I go into the local junior games here with my boys, I buy chuck a puck and I compete against all the kids. And even adults were like, "What? You're actually like throwing pucks against kids?" I'm like, yeah, they think they can beat me and they're not. And I was 3 for 3 in chuck a puck in town here, but then this last game didn't throw it hard enough, didn't get enough oomph into her. Colby had bought 3 pucks, 3 for $5, you know. He won all 3 prizes. All 3 of his pucks were won out of everybody, and it was upsetting.
Hmm.
Little punk beat me again.
Going up, man. That's what like I was speaking to Todd about the whole chuck a puck thing, right? And it's like all these things that you don't even think about. It's like, oh, I'll just do chuck a puck. But then it's like talk to Todd about it, and he's like, you got to be careful with chuck a puck because you sell chuck a pucks for a pound, and if your chuck a puck looks nice, some people just take them as a souvenir. So it's
Right.
like
They don't
you
even
never
try and win.
no, they're like, oh wow, I paid a pound for that. That looks nice. I'll keep it. So he's like, a lot of times people just steal them,
Right.
and it's like I just assumed you could buy pucks and throw them on the ice, and people wouldn't do that, but that's
Right.
just what it is. So it's all these stupid little things like that you got to think of now. So
Because he knows the ins and outs because he's been playing the game for a long time.
exactly. So that's why he said I learned so much from speaking with them about stuff because they've
Yeah.
seen it all, right?
Oh yeah, I take a lot of Todd in my coaching and like running a team, even if it's minor hockey. Watching him take over the Devils that season when he had just got there, we had just got there, and seeing his attention to detail with all the little things that make it work. It's like I remember when he was saying like the ketchup bottles weren't red enough, you know? It's weird.
No,
He's right
but
into
those
it.
those little things go a long way.
They
Um,
do go a long way. It's like paying for your team's two L's and hockey tail shirts with their names and numbers on the back. And then say you're down 3-0 in a playoff game and you get kicked out of the game. And then those little punks just go out there and score 4 goals in 6 minutes and win the game. And haha,
gotcha.
gotcha again. Shed boost. But speaking of wanting good people on your team, is like going into these tryouts. There was a kid, and I didn't know the first years really, but I went to skate up to the kids to say like, hey, we need a few more at the other end because it's not even right now. And I went up to skate up to this kid to say something, and I just saw the look in his eye and the way he was looking at me. He was like, just tell me what you want me to do, and I'm gonna go do it. And I'm like, oh, what's your name, buddy? And then I told him to go to the other end, and he was gone. And I tried him at defense. I tried him at forward, and I was trying to figure out where to use him best because I'm like, you're on the team. You're making it because I can see your attitude. I can see your potential. I'm like, I just got to figure out where to use you. And then he was going to be a defenseman until the big boy went out there and earned that spot. But then the kid showed me he could play forward. So guess what, kid? You're still on the team either way. You
I
know?
mean, that's something I've noticed too. It's like, give me a kid who's going to run through a wall if I tell him to. Like, I want a team full of those kids because,
Yeah.
it's like
Work
there's stuff.
ethic makes up for talent a lot all day long.
Oh, I know, and like you can teach a kid something if they're willing to learn, but if they're not willing to learn, you might as well just bang your head against the wall, right? Because there's no point.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
attitude goes way farther than skill with me, that's for sure.
well, and building a team is like building a puzzle or solving a puzzle or playing with a puzzle because, even sometimes you get one. Now I got my lineup, but then it's like, okay, so now where do the pieces fit and who should be playing with who and why? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a lot
And
to this game when you really think about it, but not
well,
really.
it's just a game, Wally. It's
It's
just a
just a
game.
game. You just go out and play it.
Game. Just a game for kids.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So you haven't been to Chippy Lane since that episode then?
I think that's the last
Too
time
busy for Chippy Lane. Like I don't. That was one of the most legendary moves I've ever seen on Chippy Lane.
I think that was the last time I was out, was that night.
That was the last time you were out.
Well, out like Chippy Lane out.
Out, out.
Out as
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the only time I get to go out, out is when I get invited to testimonials.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then you're out, out.
Yeah. Out. There we go. No, no, I won't do that again, I don't think. Hopefully I'll just not drop my Chippy Lane, but
So how's your kids doing? How's Hunter doing?
good. He
Does he
just
ever
started.
put on the wheels? Does he play hockey?
Yeah, we got him out there ripping around on his jets. He's getting there. He won't actually like he won't come up to me and say, "Dad, I want to go play hockey."
Right.
But if I take him, then he's into it. But like his big thing now is fishing. So
Ah,
we're for the
that's a
week.
fun thing to do.
Yeah, he when my dad came over to visit, he brought him a little fishing rod, and he didn't really care about it then. But then we just went on holiday a few weeks ago, and being in the ocean, and he caught like some little crabs with a net, and he started watching these videos on YouTube of people fishing, and now it's just like sharks, halibut, like he knows every single fish, and he just
Uh,
wants to go fishing all the time. And we actually caught a little trout the other day, and he was happier than anything. So he's into fishing right now. And then Luna, she's just running my absolute show every single day.
they can do that.
Girls just, yeah, she's so
Run the
cute.
world.
Yeah, I get shouted at by her for giving her the wrong color cup.
Mm.
Uh, and I just go and get a different color cup, and I just listen. She's the boss. She's two.
Zoe was very, very bossy around 2 to 3 years old. Very,
Yeah,
very bossy. And it's very interesting watching her grow into like such a sweet, nice gal, but she still wouldn't take shit from nobody and she's tough as nails.
that's I think.
But she's
So
really nice and has tons of friends. I'm like, oh, you really did turn into a nice person because, I was worried there around 2 years old.
I know. I would love like I haven't seen them in so long. Like I see pictures of Colby now, and I'm like, Jesus, you're as big as you.
It's weird, man. Like it's weird watching this all happen because like now
Yeah,
him and his buddies are starting to get little mustaches and like it's this weird under 13 age is that the first years are still kids and they look like kids and they
yeah,
smell like kids. And then all of a sudden it changes and the second year start changing in the middle of the season and then all of a sudden you see them now in the summer and you're like that sounds like they got a frog in their throat when they try to talk.
I know.
And they got mustaches and acne, and it's like, what the hell happened to you kids? I've been here.
No,
It's all happened too fast.
does happen fast, and people always told that to me, but it's like when you're in it, you don't really realize it. It's like all of a sudden now I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they said today they were just little babies, but
Well, I've been done for like 9 years now. This is like my 10th season out of the game. And that's weird to think of because it doesn't seem that long ago. It doesn't feel real that I've been living here and working in the real world for that long.
I know it's weird, right?
I think time's been flying though now that I'm having fun again.
I know. I was on Twitter the other day, and there was like a video. It was a video of me and Lordo fighting. It just popped up on Twitter, and I was like, looked at the date. It was almost 10 years ago. I thought, holy shit, that's
Yeah.
like that seemed like yesterday.
Well, and speaking of fun stories, is like when you were talking about Fish and Hunter there, I was trying to figure out how I can make it fun for him when if I get to come to Cardiff in June, because you always made it fun for Colby and Zoe when we played together. When we wore the Spider-Man and Venom suits to Cardiff Bay, and Colby was in his Hulk outfit, and we cruised the bay and had fun.
What isn't it crazy though?
That we actually did that and didn't care
but,
what nobody thought of us.
but yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was like the conversation and the decision making about it was like, hey, do you want to go check on this spandex Spider-Man costume and walk around a bay with thousands of people? Yeah, sure, no problem. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. And Colby actually thought he was Hulk, and he thought he was with Spider-Man and Venom because he was roaring at people. You
Yeah.
know?
I thought we were getting into a fight.
Well, actually, a lot of people wanted to take photos with us that day. We were like celebrities.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that was fun. That's always a cool memory we'll always have.
Did you ever get into Nerf gun hunting with Huddy and I?
No, but I have been doing that with Hunter a little bit.
Yeah, you
Uh,
can get those fat pigeons with a Nerf gun with your son. It's fun.
but some of these Nerf guns, Wally,
They,
like
they
Nerf,
can shoot them, eh?
like Hunter shot one at me one day by accident, and he just got me in the eye. And I thought, if that hit me in the eye, I don't have an eye.
Yeah, no,
And
they
like,
have come up with some pretty fancy guns out there that can hurt.
yeah, like they're sick, but like maybe not for.
Right. That brings back my last speech that mattered with the Cardiff Devils was I was the SWAT commander. Remember, I spray painted myself blue, and they had decent painted SWAT on my chest with hockey tape, and then ripped it off so it said SWAT, and then I looked like a blue Smurf. But I was spray painted blue, and then I had like the helmet on, and I came in with one of those Nerf guns and pretended to be like the SWAT leader. And then I did shoot somebody with the Nerf gun, and man, I think it was Marshy I shot with the Nerf gun when I came in. And yeah, then the boys went out and lost. Wasn't good enough. My speech must not have been good enough, you know?
Gotta be better, Wally. Gotta be better.
It's on me, fellas. I should have been better that day, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Right?
yeah. You only dress up so many times, eh, Wally?
I haven't done that anymore. I'm serious now in under 13. You gotta know your crowd.
Yeah, it's probably a bit weird if you were to strip down and paint yourself a color and jump out in front of some 13-year-olds, but
I don't think I'd be the coach anymore.
I don't think so. I think you'd be somewhere else.
Yep. Uh-huh. Um, so I didn't write down any notes. So what else is going on? What else do we need to talk about?
That's pretty
Do
much,
you go watch the Devils play anymore? Or are you too busy for that stuff?
um, honestly, I spent so much time at this rink. When the weekend comes, I just want to stay away from it.
Right.
Um, I would like to watch, but family and family time and stuff, that's important as well. So trying to find that sort of balance. And I think with the team, it kind of like another reason why I wanted to do it was it changes my schedule because like right now I do lessons in my facility here, the little sniper's den I call it, and
Right.
I'm in there from like I start at like 4 and I'll go till like 8:30, 9 o'clock, Monday to Thursday, and it's busy. But if I'm doing that and being here in the morning, I never leave, right? So, um, with this team, I got a bunch of good guys on there, and I'm going to start to kind of delegate the lessons to them a little bit, so it frees me up because my kids are getting older. Like Hunter's getting older, he's starting to do stuff at night, like sports, whatever, gymnastics, soccer,
Yeah.
and I'm here, I can't go with them, right? So I want to be able to go and do those things, right? So that's kind of another thing why this is all happening because it's going to free me up to spend more time with them and be around for all the cool stuff like
Oh
the
yeah.
hockey trips and all that kind of stuff, you know?
I do know. And that's why I'm very fortunate with my real world job that I mean, it is all the time. I have my phone all the time, but that I can because I have to work nights and weekends or help out whenever. I can leave to go to hockey practices and coach and be there for everything. And I really appreciate that, because you need a good setup to be a good parent.
Oh yeah, big time. And they're only little for a short amount of time too, right? When they get 15, 16, they probably don't want to be around you. They're too cool,
Way too
whatever.
cool.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to become best friends with their friends so that they'll still hang out with me.
That's funny.
Most of my friends in this town are under the age of 14. It's true, but they're cool, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Well,
and
that's just what
we
you
have
want to.
fun together.
Yeah,
You came to Concord to visit me. You remember this place, right? It's nice here.
yeah. It's like Del Boca Vista from Seinfeld.
Um,
Golf
but
carts.
we had a frog catching expedition that day. Do you remember when we
Wasn't
had the frog race and stuff?
that the wildest like 10 minutes of your life?
There was a lot of frogs that day.
You have a video of that still?
I don't know. I don't know. I have a picture of Zoe squeezing the shit out of a frog that looks like his head's gonna pop off when she's like 3 years old. So we've really amped that up though. Zoe has next door neighbor best friends, and we went down to the cottage and had the frog Olympics. We all had to go catch our own frog. And then we had multiple events, and we actually made a 5 minute. They made it. They're very creative gals. They made a 5 minute video of the Frog Olympics, and it shows all the events. And then there was a winner. Zoe's frog won. It was pretty gosh darn fun. And you know what, Hendo? I still know how to have fun, even though I'm 40.
That's one thing I'll never think you'll ever forget, Wally. You know how to.
Oh man, it was funny though. They had a remote control boat too. My sister did. And they put a frog on top of the remote control boat and they were driving it around the river and he just sat there on the boat having a cruise in the sunshine. It was hilarious.
Yeah, those frogs are gonna go back to their little pack of frogs, be like, "You're not gonna believe what just happened to us."
I got a boat ride. And then one of them could tell the others that he's a frog Olympian champion, you know?
I would have actually watched
Frogs
that.
are fun, folks. If you didn't know, frogs are fun.
I mean, that I can just picture that. That would have been hilarious.
See what happens when I have no notes, folks? This is what we talk about. Hey?
Frogs. Yeah.
Um, but those days when we played together with Cardiff, I still remember how much fun it was to be a dad. And I always hoped I would still be playing hockey when I had children. And then when Colby like actually when it was just like I always wanted it to be, we'd win a game and Colby would come in and be passing out the beers to the boys, and we'd have the music pumping and Colby's hanging out with all the guys. It was living, you know, it was fun. I miss those days, but now I get to do it when he's the player, you know?
Yeah, well, it's a passing of the torch. Just got to see if he starts painting himself and getting the boys going. You never know. You can pass that on to him. He could be a real team guy.
Well, he's showing some tendencies of being a team guy. Yep. Yeah. His teammates seem to like him. They seem to win a lot. And he tries really hard, you know, and he's pretty good at it.
So that's all you can ask for, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait for my season to get going. I'm all juiced up. Can't wait to get to a hotel tournament with the boys and do a belly flop, you know, get the season kicked off right.
Yeah. I always like September. It's when everything comes back. All the hockey comes back. You start seeing, the NHL camps, and it's just that nice little buzz. Hockey's back, and you know,
There's start of the season was always way more exciting than the middle of it, eh?
oh, yeah, the middle, you're kind of like,
Oh God.
It's like even like for us today, like a lot of our stuff came, and there's like all these boxes of like new stuff, and it's kind of like Christmas, right? You're excited. Everybody wants to put their stuff on, and I'm almost 40, and I still get excited for new equipment and new like who doesn't, right?
Yeah, I mean that's why I would take summers off skating, so I would be excited when I got back.
I know. Doesn't happen too much anymore. Everybody just trains, 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 trains.
When I kind of try to not listen to what everybody else thinks you need to do, and I do what I think you need to do. And there's a lot of hockey schools around. There's so many flipping people doing hockey schools come August, and all these people think they need to be in every one and pay like lots of money. And
Mm,
Colby didn't go in one this year. All we did was go to the local shinny, and I'd pick up truckloads of kids, and we would go there and have fun and play hockey for an hour and do whatever we wanted.
mm,
And then we'd go for lunch and like maybe golfing. And then I'm like, well, this is my hockey school. This is how I want you to play hockey in the summer with your friends. I'm
mm.
not making money off you. Let's go have fun with the boys and realize hockey is fun even in the summer, you know?
Yeah, I think that's what we used to do. That's
Well,
what I.
and then Colby was just dying for the hockey season to start, you know? And some of those kids that can be on the ice every day in August, do you really think they're still as jazzed up as the kid that's been still waiting to get out there?
No, you gotta do other stuff.
Yeah, you do. You gotta be a kid too, right? You gotta go catch frogs.
Yeah, you gotta have Frog Olympics, and uh,
Oh
you,
man, I
you
should.
record that?
they made a video. They're incredible. They make these videos all the time where they like put it all together somehow. And they have it's like a 5 minute video, the Frog Olympics. It's impressive stuff, actually. Um,
Yeah.
so back on topic without my notes here is I saw a video of your locker room and man, you are really doing it for just starting out. You're really doing things right. That locker room looked like a pro team's locker room.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to do is
Oh,
like
right.
give these, well, like if you look at everything that I have at the rink now, I got like the gym that we share with the Devils, we got Snipers Den, we got our own change room now, and like, what more do you want, right?
What more do you want?
Like I kind of I always think back to when I was a kid, and that's kind of how I've done everything that I've done so far is what would I have liked? What would, if you're a hockey player and you're serious about hockey, what else do you want? You got everything. You got everything right here. And that change room, like, it's funny because the kids, that's their favorite thing. They have their own home and like they love it. And parents love it too because they don't bring their equipment home and it doesn't stink anymore. They get to leave it there. That's their own little home. And like the first week that we
That's when you kind of feel like you made it as a hockey player when you don't have to take your bag home.
Oh yeah, yeah. But that's just it. And it's like it's so cool because like last week, some of these kids they didn't even leave. Like we practiced like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I came back at like 4 o'clock at night to do my lessons, and they were still here, like just hanging out in the dressing room, shooting pucks, and it was really cool to see. It's like, that's I want them to use all this stuff. That's what it's here for. So it's cool to see them. But then it got to a point where it's like,
When
okay,
people want to be at the rink is when they get better,
oh,
right?
exactly.
It's like when you Carl and Deese like put on the goalie gear after Cabina Fest and or Secret Santa. And I mean, you guys wanted to get better and you were firing pucks at each other and having a couple beers in the room. And I mean, that's you guys wanted it, right?
Well, you just want to get better, Wally. That's
We
it.
just want you guys just want to play together and have fun, right?
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. It's just a
That is
game.
what it's all about. And when you're talking about taking what you wanted as a kid, it's like, well, that's exactly how I coach minor hockey is I try to make it how I would want it to be as a kid. It's like, do you think it would like, because none of these kids even knew when I became the coach last year and I coached them for the first while, none of them knew about the shed. None of them knew I'd ever played hockey. I was just a short, fat guy that is coaching them. And then when like they get to know I have a podcast and then they come to the shed and then like you see them around and I'm like, well, yeah, isn't that cool that like your minor hockey coach has a shed and that you got to come on and do a podcast with all your buddies? Like, isn't that fun when you're in under 13?
Oh,
Because
I know.
I like fun. And
Yeah.
then he gives you shirts, two L's and hockey tails, your names and numbers, and then they wear them to all the practices and they're wearing them to their tryouts this year. And it's like every time I see it, I'm like, oh, got me again.
Right now. Yeah.
Coaching is fun. It was like I
Yeah.
went to the rink there yesterday for tryouts. It was going to be my tryout, and then right before were the girls I coached 2 years ago, and then right after were the boys I coached last year that we won it. And man, I got so many fist bumps and hugs through the glass it nearly broke me. Oh God, they're cool kids around here.
I mean,
Really change your day, you know?
yeah. Well, you obviously left a good impression on them, or they wouldn't have done that, would they?
Well, I don't know. I was just having fun. Uh, but yeah, the coaching thing's fun. So you haven't really had a team and dove into like coaching a team. This is all new to you, eh? Do you know what
Yeah.
to do?
Cool. Ah, hockey player, Wally. He'll figure it out. Of
I
course
know
not.
you got to figure it out. That's what we do. When somebody zigs, you got to zag.
Uh, the change room thing is I don't know. It just makes everything that much cooler. And like there's a guy as well.
Where is that locker room in the arena? I was trying to figure out where they put you guys.
Well, it's on the Devils side of the rink in like the left corner. So it used to be a staff room for the rink. And then we
Really?
were,
I didn't know
yeah,
about that room.
yeah. Well, nobody did, and it was just a waste of a room. So
Can't waste rooms.
no, so yeah, we just got in there, painted it up, put all the stalls in, and it's perfect. It's just such a cool little place, and um, the kids love it. They got like TV in there. They can watch hockey highlights, whatever. It's like their home.
So this is really cool for these kids that you're doing this for them. And it's neat how you stayed there, started out just doing skill stuff. And now look at where you're at now, eh?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
Really grinding it out, eh?
yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
fun.
just giving her, and you're
Yeah,
having fun.
yeah, and like it was funny because this like last year in the summer, I'd spoke with Todd and the Devils and stuff about they wanted me to coach and be an assistant coach, and I don't know, I just didn't have that same sort of passion for that because then you're dealing with a different type of player, really, right? Like you're dealing with players that have egos and you have to manage people, and whereas what I'm,
Are you saying you had an ego? Are
of
you
course,
saying
we all
yeah.
everybody, and you have
I never played enough.
like coaching at that level. It's more about like managing that sort of thing. Whereas what I'm doing, it's I'm actually teaching the kids a lot of
Developing.
stuff and developing. And I kind of figured out after speaking with them about that that's what I wanted to do. And I just think it works way better because eventually these kids, they're going to move up, move up, move up, and you know we'll move up as a club, and maybe one day we're right below the Devils or something, and then we can pass these kids up there, and it's like that doesn't really happen here very often. They get to that National League level, and then that's just kind of
Where they can get to.
that's just too big of a gap. But I'm thinking like a lot of these kids, they're 16. If you can make them really, really good when they're 17, 18, those like Cardiff would love, like teams want really good younger players. The younger, the better, but they have to be good enough. So I'm thinking like some of these kids can maybe just bypass the whole system and, plug into the elite league, really.
Well, it'd be pretty sweet to see any of your puppies make it, right? It's like I didn't realize when we went to Cardiff and you join the team and you play and we had fun and we won a trophy and but then you don't realize like that all the Brits we were playing with like are like legends. Like Mark Richardson is a legend and Batchy is a legend and Bouncy is a legend and they were
Yeah,
all our teammates. It's pretty neat. It's like
yeah.
I get to go coach kids in Kincardine with Team Great Britain pants because Richie gave them to me and I look cool in them.
That's the other thing too, is that like those guys are such legends,
Yeah,
and they're not getting any younger. I don't know how many more years they'll all play. Richie will probably play till he's 80, but like,
he
you
could.
know, whenever they do decide to stop playing, like who's coming up next? Like who's next? And
There
that's kind
needs
of
to be
where
the next wave.
yeah, that's kind of where the Canucks and we were trying to come in and help out with that and develop those next sort of Richies and Batchies and Bouncies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and then that's fun. It's coaching these kids last year and then seeing them become champions and like how much better they got over the season.
yeah,
And it's like I couldn't have been prouder. But then another cool moment for me I know that I shouldn't forget about, is I had to run tryouts without a coaching staff because I'm not supposed to pick a coaching staff till I know which kids are on the team. So I ran all the tryouts by myself and I never asked them. My puppies that I coached offered to help me with tryouts. I had both my horses came, and then I had Hayden and Savage came, and they all came to help me run tryouts and help me coach. And they did it voluntarily. And I was like, this is so cool that like I'm not your coach anymore, but you'll come and help me coach. That's wicked awesome.
family.
Family. And yeah, and it's like I'll help you guys any way I can. If any coach ever calls me ever about a character reference, get them to call me.
Oh, that's what you want, right?
Yeah, people helping people. It's a powerful thing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
October 6th is this big game against somebody.
Against the Haringey Hounds.
The
So
what? Herringay?
Haringey, I guess. I think it's like outside of London.
Okay.
But they're one of the better teams, so that'll be a good test for us. So we have two games before that. So we got this weekend on Sunday we're playing in Bristol, and then I think the next game is the following weekend. So we got a couple games to kind of get our feet wet, and yeah, it'd be
How many games are in your season?
only like I think 20-ish.
And it's the same as the Elite League where it's about the table, like you got to win the regular season.
Yeah, it's all set up like that. It's
They do that in every league in the UK. Eh? Nobody's hockeying like traditional hockey.
no, well, it's just the problem with like the rinks and stuff here. Like it's just there's not enough ice time to do
Okay,
like
you don't have to make excuses for me.
well like no like it's true though. Like they like I don't like the whole Challenge Cup, all that stupid stuff. I just I want playoffs. Playoffs is it. Playoffs is the best.
Oh yeah,
Playoffs.
playoffs are what hockey's all about. You play the regular season just to get to playoffs.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't care about a regular season trophy. I want to win playoffs. Like that's just how you're grown up in Canada. But here you have to kind of adjust your way of thinking because that's the thing. If you win the
That
season,
that is
that
the thing. That and it does change your way of thinking. Then I remember I missed the block shot once, just missed. And then I got to the bench and Lord was like, hey, like, I don't care if it's a regular season game. Every game is game 7 and you have to block that shot. And I'm like, okay, next time.
that's the thing. It's a whole different mentality. It's like, yeah, it's just a whole different mentality.
It really is. You guys assistant coach?
Yeah, so a friend of mine, Anton Rimko, he's kind of my assistant coach. He's been such a good friend to me for the last few years. He's helped build my rooms and stuff. And anytime one of those guys that like if I ask him for something, he's there. There's no questions asked, and he's just a really really good
You,
guy. He
you need
coaches.
those people.
Yeah, exactly. And he coaches the under 18 team here in Cardiff as well, which is kind of half of my team anyway. So it works really well. And then we got a good group of older guys as well who just kind of help regardless. And then there's another guy. I don't know if you ever knew him, Wally. Josh Britton. You know who he is?
Josh Britton. Was he a player?
Yeah, he played for the Devils, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I know that name. Yeah.
Anyway, I know him from back home in Ottawa a little bit. And anyway, he's his wife's British, and they've been here for the last couple of weeks, and he's living in Bristol, and he just had a little baby, so um, just messaged me and said, "Oh, can I come skate with you guys?" Because he's looking for a job in Europe this year.
Yeah.
So he's been on the ice with us training, and like having someone like him on the ice.
That's
Um,
getting ready for a season. That would be helpful for your team.
yeah, so like just having him out there helping the kids and teaching them stuff, that's just another cool little sort of part of it, right? Like, the
A
amount of,
cool thing. Cool things are cool.
yeah, because it's like, okay, you know, who's better to deliver the message than someone like that, or someone like myself, or someone like you who's actually played. It's like, it's not mom or dad that's out there coaching. It's somebody who's a professional who knows what they're doing, and just to see like, just to see how they interact and listen to him. And he's been so cool with them and helped them so much, like just little things like, do this instead, do that instead. And it just all goes and it all helps, right?
It does. And when kids get on the ice with people, it can some little things can stick with them. For me, it was like last summer I was helping O'Reilly out move pucks for him, and I brought my puppies out and I brought my horses that I knew I was going to coach. And one I was switching from D to forward, and they came out and skated with O'Reilly and all these pro guys that day, and it was wicked cool. And but then when we would have these early practices at like 3:30, the kids could get out of school, the ice was open and they could get on the ice. And when I'd show up to coach those practices, those horses would be out on the ice doing similar stuff that like O'Reilly would be doing, and they'd be out there on their own doing it. And I'd show up at the rink and my kids are already out there trying to get better. And I'm like, huh,
Mm.
love it.
That's the thing. It's like a lot of kids, they may want to do stuff, but they don't know what to do. And then they see someone like him,
Do
like
it.
run.
And you're like, oh, do stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. But if they don't show them, they don't know, right?
Right. And what's neat for how things all work out is so I coached the boys under 11. Then I coached Zoe's team under 9 gals. And I coached with the guy that built my shed. He was my assistant coach with the gals. His daughter was on the team. Well, fun fact is his son's on the team this year. So now I just went voluntary with my neighbor that did the electrical in my shed and helped build it. And now I'm going to coach with his next door neighbor that built my shed and coached with me with the gals. And then we're going to beat everybody again. And it's going to be
What do
fun.
you
And then I'll win with both of my favorite neighbors,
do you call it a shed circle?
the shed family.
Coming full
Isn't
circle.
that pretty neat though that I get to coach with like my 2 friends that like made Kincardine home, and
Okay.
I got to win with one of them and I got to coach the gals with the other, and we had a hoot and I felt like a champion that year because we did get a trophy at the end. And
Oh,
everybody
no.
played, all the girls played hockey again the next year and still are, and it's pretty sweet. Now I get to coach with him again, and he's exactly who I need on my bench, one of them
Isn't
good
hockey,
ones.
isn't hockey such a good sport?
It is when you get the right people on a team, right?
Oh, nothing better. Nothing better.
Oh, it's like that 2014-15 Devils season. That was fun, eh?
Oh, like that. Yeah. I mean,
Even the Dayton Bombers, man. Like back then, that was a similar group of ragtag misfits that just liked having fun and playing hockey.
yeah, that. Oh man, just I'd love to just go back and watch that season as a fly on the wall.
Oh man, there was some funny stuff happening away from the rink that year.
Oh, like just yeah,
Uh-huh.
whole bunch of just degenerates.
Yeah. And but then like if you look at they gave me like some program. Actually, I think it's right here. Um, yeah, look at that. Dayton Bombers program from back in the day. I found this in one of the boxes Mummy gave me. But there is a lot of legends on that team, and I guess that's how you go to the finals and almost win, eh?
Yeah, I know.
A
Imagine
lot
we
of
won.
a lot of people went and did stuff from this team
Oh,
after, you know?
I know. I know.
And
I
then
like to.
we won like a decade later together. Isn't that fun?
You know, I like to think that we were the special ingredient, Wally, or the glue,
Right?
maybe. You know,
Yeah.
because just a common
People
denominator.
never noticed us, but we were there.
We were there. Oh yeah, we were
Yeah.
there. And
People never understood why my team, you know? It's like, well, now that I'm a coach, nobody can try and body shame me out of the sport anymore. I don't have to look good. I don't have to look like a hockey player anymore. I just have to have the brain for it. Always did, you know?
so it's good stuff.
Remember
Oh,
that picture when we're all in our wetsuits? God, I looked like a hockey player that day.
didn't you ever? You looked like Marvin the Martian.
I don't know why everybody always made fun of my body. You
It was
know,
just,
it's
it
not
was just
nice. That's
we just
body
all had
shaming is not nice in the world. You shouldn't do that to people, you know?
no, no. It was a term of endearment, I think, for you.
I mean, I was who I was. There's no changing it. I just doing the best I could, right?
Exactly. I mean, you're just living, you know.
There was another moment where I just brought back the memory. We had to do rock climbing when I was in Germany, and you get the harness on. And then, well, I fell off the wall and I was swinging in the air, and the harness had like got caught around my belly, and just my like gut was hanging out, and the boys were like pissing themselves laughing because I was just hanging in the air with my gut out trying to rock climb. Everybody made fun of my body again that day.
Hmm. So you kind of put it on yourself, really, Wally. You didn't really put yourself in the
I was
best.
trying to rock climb.
Hmm. Some of us aren't built for rock climbing, Wally.
I knew I wasn't. They made us do it.
Of course. Okay, I see.
Those stupid team events where they make you
Funny,
exercise.
funny, funny enough, we I was going to do that with my team, the whitewater rafting thing that we did. That was
That's
fun.
it was fun, and fun is fun.
Yeah, fun is fun. So we might still do that, but
You got to
so,
organize fun things with your team, right? It's like last year we weren't allowed in a tournament that we'd registered for because they said we were at the max. So we had a weekend off of hockey. So we rented the ice and broke the team up into 3-on-3 teams. And well, you need another goalie. So I strapped on the pads and became a champion that day.
you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
I did what I had to do in the net that day. You should have seen it, Hendo. You would have loved it.
Like even like my team now, like the under 18s team had a game yesterday, Sunday night, and that's like half of my team is well, the whole under 18s team plays for the Canucks pretty much. So the older players, they came down and watched the under 18 players, which I didn't even tell them to do that. They just did that. That
Uh-huh.
just kind of shows like how cool, it's been 2 weeks and they're doing like little family things already.
Family things.
Yeah,
Family things. Yeah,
that's what
I
you want.
I I I do know. And it's very similar to the boys around here that are all still supporting each other, you know, and supporting me and helping me coach and wanting my team to win all Ontario just like they did. And you know, it's nice when people root for you.
Yeah, yeah, you just gotta get those guys together.
Hmm.
Team.
Team, a team. That's what you need in
Definitely.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what else do we got to talk about? I want you to release your jerseys so I can get all hot and bothered and show the Shed family how fun is fun and life is fun.
Yeah. I'm when we do, I'll make sure I call you after to make sure
Thanks
that
for doing that, by the way. And I was only planning on sponsoring you when I saw it was available, and then some other man took you, eh?
well, yeah, it's yeah, this sponsorship thing is a whole different world of things and people pay money for that and it's a
Mm.
yeah, whole other thing. So
I know. I'm like Manchester when I sponsored Critch, and I'm like I actually tried to pay them all the money I said I would,
Hmm.
And now I'm gonna give them my Critchlow Two Ales and Hockey Tales jersey and let them do whatever they want with it. If they want to raffle it off and make a couple Genos, then hey, you guys go ahead and have fun. I'll give you the jersey, and they're sending me the Critch jersey to put up here, and then hey, people helping people, right? That's hockey.
Boom goes the dynamite. There you go.
Right. And I think we should make like a Two L's and Hockey Tales Hendrikx jersey or whoever your favorite player is on your Canucks this season. And then you guys should raffle that off and you guys can have the money because fun is fun.
I love fun.
It is fun because, then I can pay you back for having fun with me.
We're gonna I think we're gonna do like some like Halloween jerseys, Christmas jerseys, stuff like that. So maybe we can sprinkle that in there.
Raffle those off too. I remember the Dayton Bombs. Remember they looked like tuxedos the one night, our jerseys? Those are funny pictures.
I think I always love those nights and like I don't know, it's just I don't know why like
Because it's
team
something
sport.
different.
Yeah. And like, I just if I went to Stu Bob and said, "Oh, hey, we're doing a Halloween jersey," he's gonna get all hot and bothered and want to make something because like I can
Because
only
he's
imagine.
passionate and he gets hot and bothered about helping hockey guys.
I would love to actually. That's there we go. That's happening. We're gonna do that for sure because he'll. I can only imagine what he'll create. That'll
So,
be awesome.
sometimes you just got to talk about stuff and then fun ideas pop up, right?
Yep. The more you talk to people,
hmm There's good
mm,
ideas from everybody, right? You just got to be listening.
yeah. No, it's been good, Wally. Been a while.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to get the kids ready for school and then work all day and then coach my first practice and paint the ice tonight and then have the best D zone in under 13.
You have to take a picture of your ice painting, and we can compare our ice painting.
I use bingo dabbers.
Oh, yeah. Mm,
Yeah. Yeah, I think
mm,
I still got them from last year.
mm. That's the best way to do it. Really, they're cheap.
They are cheap. Get them at the dollar store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year, even after I did it, I took a picture of them and I sent it to Clance and I said, first U13 practice of the year. And I thought it was cool. I could be texting the GM of the Leafs and that he responded and said he sent me like the laughing face and said, go get him or something. And then I got to send him a picture at the end of the season of us being champions. And I said, D Zone wins championships because it does, you know?
That's he's done well for himself, eh? Like he's with the Leafs now.
The assistant general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs from the Dayton Bombers of Ohio.
Really dug himself out of that hole, eh?
Right? Didn't he?
Wow, it's like wow.
I don't know how like I asked him about it because he came to the shed and I'm like, man, that must have been a tough year living there. Like, you're tired from hockey, you're coaching, but this is where you're coaching.
I don't think I ever told you. When was that? It was probably like, I don't know, 5, 6 years later, I was playing in Texas and I actually got called up out of the CHL to Hamilton. And we went to Hamilton and within 2 or 3 days, we went to our first road trip and it was St. John's when they were still around.
Yeah.
We had like 3 games there or whatever. And that first game I wasn't playing, obviously. So I went and asked everybody where to go. They said, "Oh, go up in the box right there." So I go and but sit in the box and I'm just looking at the game and I just heard Hendo, Jimmy, Jimmy. And I look over and it's fucking Clance. And
Mm.
he's just sat there and I was like, what do you, but he was there for a while. I think, I don't know, a couple of years anyways, but I sat there and talked to him and I hadn't seen him at all since
Well,
Daytona Beach.
his guy's that tree living guy, right? So he would have been with the Flames and then Clance is with the Flames because they're boys.
Ah, okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's their circle.
Hmm.
Everybody has their circle in hockey. My circle just got way bigger since I had a shed, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Now
that
I have
makes
a
sense.
now I have a big circle, and I like having a big circle, big family.
Circles are nice.
They are nice. God. Well, if anybody listened to us first thing in the morning, I hope it made your day better because it made my day better, right? So thanks for making the time for me. I'll, you
Yeah,
know,
cheers, buddy.
and
It was
thanks for what you're
fun.
doing for me with those jerseys because it melts my heart. And we'll do some raffles and fun stuff to pay you back.
Awesome. Cheers, buddy.
And
Nice
this
to
has
catch
been
up.
on what? Huh?
It was nice to catch up, man. It's been too long, too busy.
Did you know that's exactly why I do this?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Doesn't it make sense still?
Makes total sense.
Fun is fun, folks. And this has been another episode of Two L's and Hockey Tales with Hendo and Wally. Go Canucks, go Canucks. Ah, stop it.